Hello everyone, welcome back to our SolidWorks course. In this video, we would be starting with a new module, that is patterns. Patterns is a very simple word. Most of you or all of you might be knowing about it. But what are patterns in context to our modeling? We will take a look at it in this video. First, let's learn about what are patterns in modeling. Patterns are nothing but a tool used to create multiple instances of any feature. Before moving any further, I will introduce you to some pattern terminologies. That is, the first one here we can see is a seed. Seed is nothing but the first feature that we generate. I will explain it to you with this small example. Let's say you want to create these 4 rectangles. But instead of creating all of them individually and then defining them all over again, what we do here is that we create this first rectangle that will be called as a seed, and we create multiple instances of this seed. This is known as the direction of pattern. You can see that these rectangles are being generated in this direction. And also there is something known as spacing of patterns. The gap you can see here is known as the spacing of patterns. This is specified in order to create these instances at your desired dimension. There are some reasons as to why we use patterns while modeling. The first reason is obviously the reuse of geometry. If I want to create 4 rectangles, why do I have to create it again and again over? I will just create this first one simply and then pattern it. Next use of patterns is to make changes. Let's say you created all these 4 rectangles individually and later on you understood that there is some small change. Now, as you had created all of them individually, you have to also make the changes in all of them one at a time. But if you have used pattern and make that change in the seed itself, the change would be reflected in all the other instances by simply rebuilding your part. With the help of few more examples, I will explain it to you how patterns function, and I will give you a brief intro about some basic pattern types. We will move forward, and here I will first draw a rectangle. Let's say I have a rectangular plate like this, and I want to create 4 holes at each of the corners like this. Earlier, I would have created all these 4 holes individually, but now what I will do is that I will first create this seed and define it by giving all the other dimensions like these and its diameter, let's say, of 10 millimeters. Now what I will do is that I will pattern this hole. There are different ways of creating this same geometry. What I can do first is that I will pattern this hole in this direction and then get these two, the first one and the second one, and then pattern these 2 holes together in this direction to create these 2 holes at the bottom part. This was the first way. The second way of creating these is that I can simply produce the pattern in 2 directions. I have my seed over here. I will give 2 directions of pattern. First is this one and the second is this one. It will create these 4 holes in the same way as here. Next way of creating this is that we create a sketch. I will show you how. Let's say I have created this first cut over here of our circular hole. Next what I will do is that I will create a sketch specifying the points where I want my holes to be created. Now what we will do, we will go into sketch driven pattern and then give this sketch as my input. I will select this feature as my input feature, or rather in technical terms we will call this our seed. And once I select my sketch, it will generate this hole in all the other directions like this. This is how we can create all these holes in linear pattern. The next type of pattern that we have is a circular pattern. Let's say I have a disc here and I want 5 holes on this PCD like this. What I will do is that I will simply create the first hole, define it by giving it the dimensions, diameter and everything. Next what I will do is that I will go to simply a circular pattern and enter the number of instances as 5 and give it the spacing. You can either select equal spacing or you can give the angle that you desire. If you select equal spacing, it will create five equally spaced holes like this. In this module, we would be also learning about mirror. Mirror is also a special type of pattern. It is generated about a fixed plane. Let's say this is my geometry that I have created and I want a mirror of this geometry to be created. I will simply specify the plane about which I want to mirror and the part that I want to mirror. Once giving all the inputs, it will simply create a mirror of this part. I hope you got a good idea about how patterns work and what patterns really are in the modeling approaches. In the next video, I would be taking some exercises in order to show you all the types of patterns and how do we use them. Hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.